how do you stay up to date with industry development, research, and best practices? I've got the best doctors around me. So, what's new? Let's be honest, nothing, man. Nothing. Dogs can have litters by themselves when they're healthy dogs. So what's new in the industry? Nothing, man. Dogs are going to need their shots at some point, even though that there are millions of stray dogs who've never got their shots. And they've lived for centuries on the fucking ground. And, so I would tell people, and even you, do not get caught up in trying to figure out what people are doing. Find your way to do things. Because, mind you, think of it this way. How many places had you seen people doing what we're doing with puppies before us?
Nowhere, absolutely.
That's my point. So if I was like, man, I wonder what these guys are doing. Oh, we should do that. No. I know what to do. And if I don't think it works, we're going to figure it out. We're going to build something else. So the industry stuff, staying up to date with industry developments. Look, a puppy's going to die from either hyperglycemia or hypothermia. Don't let that happen. Best practices. The best practice is the same thing I always say, man, just take care of the dog. Mm-hmm. It sounds crazy, but it's like, do you care? And if you do care, and that care shows itself, people will care. They care when they know you care. And I get that all the time. Man, I've been watching you for months. I'm a 50-year-old man. I never thought I'd want to get another dog, but watching your care for your dogs, man, how do I get a dog from you? We'll figure it out, man. What are the most significant challenges you face as a breeder, and how do you overcome them? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know that there's been anything super significant. What I can tell you is I dealt with everything. I had a whole plan over 3 years with Zara, and, she tore her knee. So imagine all your dreams and hopes and your thing. I got to get here. It don't work that way. She tore her knee. I'm not making her, she's not going to hobble around with a bunch of puppies in her belly. I got to pay for this knee to get fixed, and then this. And then, let her heal, and then feed her, and then make sure she can walk and hold a litter. She was able to hold 2 litters after that first knee tour. So, and mind you, it's because Chris Moore put me on Ichin, which he said, if you give her these shots, this will help. And I believe it did. So, some of the challenges are going to be more internal. And sometimes, going to be more external. What that means is it don't happen to me, but you could see somebody having success and be like, damn, look at the niggas. And they struggling just like you are. And they might not even be able to move none of them dogs. Mm-hmm. So the struggle, I don't know if I see the struggle, because in every struggle I see the opportunity. So I don't think I've gotten stuck or caught there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But overcoming them, man, my whole life has been overcoming some shit. So if a dog don't get pregnant, that's fine. I got more work to do. If this don't happen, that's fine. I got more. Even this time, I just got off the phone with Chris Moore, and I told him, I said, hey, if Amira don't take this time, I said, I'm gonna have you send me a bulldog. I don't like bulldogs, but I like his. Mm-hmm. And so when you get out there and you see him, every one of us lights up. If a regular bulldog walked past me, I wouldn't give a shit. But Chris's bulldogs, man, them hoes is nice. Mm-hmm. And I'll get a puppy for free. So whatever somebody else will pay, I get that free 99. So life is good, man.
Yeah, man.
How do you build relationships with potential puppy owners, and what criteria do you use for selecting the right homes? I love puppy owners who are looking for pet homes. Those are top priority. Whoever's looking for a pet home, they're going to get basically almost damn near first pick. Because I want the dogs to live well for as long as possible. And the only way I'll know that the dog will not be disregarded as a piece of trash is because someone says, hey, my 12-year-old, my 15-year-old dog just died, and I don't know where else to go. I'd love to get a dog from you. I'm like, well, I'd love to hear that. I hate that the dog died, but I know that you'll do the best you can. So building relationships, having interviews, and getting an idea of what their goals are, that's going to be kind of like something you... And I tell everybody, I said, listen, you don't have to do a tenth of what we do with our dogs. If anything, I just love to know that the dog's in a good place. I wouldn't even recommend you do the shit that we do, because it is a part-time job. You have to kind of keep these dogs going for fucking 3 hours a day.
Right.
They're like either in the pool, hanging from a tree. Jamarcus is walking them. Or I'm feeding them for an hour and a half on video and camera. Like this is 7 days a week. so I can't even, you know. I even did a front-facing camera video last night with Zara eating 2 things of bison and some pig hogs. But the puppy thing is just going to be you knowing what your goal is. They said, why don't you breed pit bulls? I like that the American bullies can chill. And for that, you know, it's like you look at a dog like Ego. Ego lays around his house and chills. At the same time, Ego will go outside and get mad active.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the latter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we try to figure out from there. So you just want to make sure that they're going to get to a place where they can live their best lives. If I was creating a working dog, it could never go to a pet home. It would have to be a dog that was shown and trained. And I know that like Incredibles, she don't force, but some of her top picks, one of her requirements, I think, before she gives you the papers, is to make sure that the dog is shown and champs out, per se. That she believes it's a show dog. So there are people who put things in to just dot I's and cross T's. It's got to get level 1 obedience or something. Like there's some people who hold that paperwork like, yeah, when the dog does this, then you get the paperwork. Mm-hmm. Till then, good fucking luck. What advice would you give me as an aspired breeder, and what do you wish you knew when you started? You know, I'm going to tell you this. The more you live, the more you learn, the less you realize, the more you realize you don't know shit. So I don't know that I needed to know more than I know. What I can tell you is embrace every part of your journey, man. There was a time, like some of the African Americans that messaged me, where you would let 2 dogs in the backyard and hope they get pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you're doing progesterone tests. You can ship semen. They're freezing semen. They're freezing straws. If I had to give any breeder advice, and you specifically, you have a vision for your dog. That's number 1. So Bezos said it best: be stubborn on vision, clear about your goals in a sense, and stay focused on the task. And even what you're doing right now, invest in yourself. Sometimes these things feel stupid. And you're like, man, why would I pay this person this? And it's like, can you make that much sense? Okay, then. I'd rather talk to somebody who's on the right path, or someone that, you know, can make it make sense, than be stuck tweeting my thumbs. You have enough information now, just in general, to kind of like start good and finish strong. Never get caught up in the hype, and don't get lost in your own sauce. And the biggest thing is, you know, definitely stay focused again on the goal and the vision. That's all always my best advice. Stay true to yourself and what you're doing. I mean, yeah, you know, I'm never gonna go to the shows and be like, man, look at my dog. Like, that's never gonna happen. So I never put that kind of nonsense out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm not going to get invited into a $20,000 stack off. It's just not going to happen. I don't carry that pride and that ego. But my best advice is to learn everything you can from the animal that is in front of you. And that dog will teach you more about yourself than you probably could learn from anybody else.
Right.
Yeah. But go ahead, man. Any other questions? Well, I mean, like, those are good questions, too, by the way, man. Those are well thought out, very good. Shit, them kind of questions I can answer on YouTube, like, nigga. Them some good questions. Seriously, bro, those are good fucking questions, man.
Thank you, man. It took me a couple hours. I just wanted to make sure I got everything correct. But I do actually have a question. Do you have any tips? I really want to work on articulating myself better and speaking more confidently. Is there any tips that you have for that?
Well, for one, you don't seem like someone who doesn't articulate. It does sound like you're enunciating, finding your lips ain't running over. What I can tell you, and I'm sure you're doing this, you read, right?
Yes.
So if you read, reading is going to give you more vocabulary and, most importantly, context and perspective. So I don't read one book on protein. I bring every book in on protein and see what they collectively say, and that gives me perspective. Then I try to apply all that information to either myself or a dog. And in that application, I turn around and I master what it did for me or what I believe it did for the dogs based on the science or the utilization of the information. So if it says, hey, eggs have the perfect BV, why don't people eat eggs all day? because eggs will sustain you, they will not build you. So they're a great item to add in every one of your meals if you can, because even a burger tastes better with an egg on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So you're never like, oh, they got eggs in here. Oh, that's perfect. Why is the avocado so good? Because it is a healthy fat. So most times if you see avocado on anything, the irony is the body responds to that. So my point in response to seeing even the avocado, like, oh, damn, that tastes good. Guacamole is good. It's a healthy fat. So you never feel terrible after eating it, and people don't realize these things. Point is, if you keep reading, and if the next step would be kind of doing what you're doing right now, and that's talking to people or with people or amongst people who are very good at making things make sense. Because now you get to practice and be in practice of that habit. And it's like this, 9 out of 10 people don't get to talk to me every day.
Right.
And I'm not saying that for me. I'm saying the irony is I think some people think I talk all day. And it feels like that some days, but it's just not the case. I've gotten in cars with people when I went and dropped dogs off, and they're like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Are you? I'm like, believe it or not, I'm actually pretty quiet. Because when I do talk, I want to be impactful. So identify the word that you want to lead your life with, and then lean into it, and then practice it. One thing that'll give you practice is all them damn videos I sent you to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And every one of those videos, you're going to miss something. It's, oh, I can do this. So that 20 video thing, 20, whatever it is, it'll turn into 40 if you do it correctly. And I'm going to be right there with you, man. As I said, this will go on for 3 months. And I'll assist, and you got, we'll do check-ins on Sunday. And if you don't need a check-in that week, it's no biggie, because you're going to have work to do. If there's videos you want me to take a look at, I'm not going to watch everything, but I will review things where you say, well, what could I have done better here? Don't forget to start with an attention getter. And then I repeat, the best thing you could do to articulate yourself is to be in rooms, or in this case, speaking with people who maybe speak better than you and are more clear, and watching that practice happen, and now being able to tie the two together, like seeing me online and talking to me here are 2 different conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And it's more deliberate. So you're like, oh, I guess that nigga ain't guessing. And so this is where it starts. And I don't know how much you like about business, but even Robert Herjavec, who sits on the Shark Tank panel, he talked about not having the money one time and going to something, and out of all of his friends, he was the only one that made it. He said it changed his life. It changed his life. When I went to that intensive boot camp, guys said the same thing. Went into a boot camp, it changed his life. It'd be one thing that changed how you see yourself and where you're headed and where you're going that shaped the rest of your life, man. Mm-hmm. And so I do hope in this exchange that your life is forever changed because of your intent and goal to just be better. Just be better. And I repeat, anytime you got questions, you send me voice memo, text me. I'll always get back to you and help to the best of my ability, man.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, Trev.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. Any other questions?
I think that's all for now.
Okay, well, keep them coming, man. Make a note like you did of them. And if you got any more, man, let's keep this conversation going. And in worst case scenario, we'll talk on Sunday, all right?
All right.
All right, man. Have a good week.
You too.
And peace.
Knowledge